Sebastian?
Yeah.
Well, he loves sports. He loves spending time with his friends. He loves spending time with his girlfriend that he had. He loved his talks with his mom, with my wife. One time he had asked me, the next time we went to Six Flags, if I would do that bungee jump thing. I told him, yeah. You know, a couple weeks later, one of his cousins had moved to Texas from California. She started staying with us, her and her daughter, and we went to Six Flags. He goes, hey, Pop, you remember that? Remember what you said you would do? And I'm like, what? He goes, the bungee jump. I'm like, oh. It's like he remembered. And I'm a man of my word. I did it with him. And when we were going up, his cousin was also with us. Sebastian was in the middle. I was on his right side, his cousin. She was on his left. And we were all arm in arm. And the lady actually gave me the cord to pull the bungee jump when she said it was ready to go. And I remember when we're going up backwards, because we're laying on our stomach, we're just going backwards, we're going up. And Sebastian tells me, hey, Dad, he goes, if I cuss, would you get mad at me? And I didn't answer him. We get way up to the top, and I hear the lady, she yelled out, pull. So I pulled the cord, and I'm the one that started cussing. So I think that kind of like relieved Sebastian. You know, it's just like, oh, okay. My dad's the one that actually cussed, but you know, it was a scary experience, but it's something that I'll always remember. Because he came home in a good mood. I was on my recliner. He says, hey, Pops. He looks over to my older son. He goes, hey, Ray. And then he said he was going to go talk to Mom in the room. He was in there for about a good hour, maybe a little bit more. And then he said he was going to go play PlayStation in the garage. And he goes in there. I want to say about an hour and a half later, my wife goes, have you guys checked up on him? And it was like, no, you know, he's been in the garage just playing the games. She goes in there, she yells. And me and my son Raymond, we run into the garage. At the time I was sick, so Raymond had to pick up Sebastian and take him to the living room. But everything happened there at our house that same night. That early that morning, he slipped in the ice and he hurt his back. You know, he was trying to get to work, and he was complaining about a back pain at work. And one of his own friends, somebody that he considered his best friend, gave him some pills. And he took half a pill when he got home, and that was it. I was scared. I was terrified. My baby boy just laying there, his lips all purple. His hands were turning, his fingers were turning purple already. We were doing everything that 911 was telling us to do. But I was just so mad and scared. I started yelling and cussing. It's like, you know, telling my wife, tell them to get somebody over here. And my son was giving them mouth to mouth. I was giving them the chest impressions, and the paramedics, when they finally got there, of course, we had to get out of the way, and they started taking over. And they called it that night at 11:55 that night that he was gone. But at the same time, I remember the paramedics over there, they didn't give him actual CPR or anything. They had some kind of like plastic device on his chest that was pumping him. My older son Raymond, he had found a little baggie of pills, and he tried to give it to the cops and the paramedics. and they just put their hands up and they took a step backwards. And my son is like, what's going on? This is what we found. And they did not want to touch him. The paramedics left. The last person that was there, they covered up Sebastian, and they told us that we weren't allowed to touch him. They just left his body right there in the living room, covered in a blue blanket. And we had no idea why they told us that. Fort Worth PD, they stood there. They were outside, in the car waiting, I guess, for the coroner to show up. And it took them a couple hours to show up. So our son's just laying there. His body's just there on the floor. And my wife was going hysterical just seeing his body there and them saying that we couldn't touch him. My anger shot straight at God, because we're born again believers. Myself, my wife, and both of our boys, we were all baptized in a river in California. Sebastian actually got baptized with me and my wife. And, our prayers went unanswered that night, so my anger just right away just shot straight at God. And a lot of doubt entered into me. But I remember my son Raymond punching the doors to the house and my wife crying, and we were all just going hysterical, When it came time to do his services, we didn't even do it here in Texas. We did it in California because all of our family and friends are from California. That's where everybody's at. And we drove out there and we had his services. We even had him cremated, and we brought his remains back with us. His urn's at our house. At that time, I was sick. I really couldn't grieve the way everybody else was because my throat was all messed up, and when I cried, it would hurt. I would have real bad pains. But after I ended up in the hospital, but I was in there for a few weeks. But once I got out, I started getting better, and about a year later, I don't know what made me do it, but I opened up his urn, and I looked at his ashes, and I just yelled. That's when everything just came out. And my wife came running. She actually got upset with me. She goes, "What are you doing?" And my son Raymond had to grab me, and that's when I was finally letting everything out. Tears were just coming down, and I was just yelling. I feel like I failed him. The mom is the loving one. She's the one that cares for their kids. And I was always brought up that as a dad, I'm the one that's supposed to protect my family. And I feel that I failed. And I'm carrying that guilt. And it hurts, I've lost both of my parents, but losing my son, there ain't no greater pain than losing a child. And I really didn't get to spend that much time with my boys. I was always at work. I got to see Sebastian play football, I want to say twice out of the 2 years he did play in high school. Not being able to be there for every game because I would get in trouble at work. It broke my heart. But I think that's my biggest regret, is taking that job and working so many hours.
with Sebastian's? What's your advice?
Talk to them, hug them, love them, comfort them, let them know that you'll do anything to protect them. That's all you could do. And at the same time, don't just be their friend. You got to be their dad. You know, I wasn't there for Sebastian because I was always flooded with my work, and working at that company, it costed me my relationship with my son, and that's my biggest regret. Making money and losing my relationship with my sons is just, it's not worth it. You may think that your parents don't love you, they don't like you, they're mad at you. They only want what's best. That's the bottom line. Parents are always going to love you. Your brothers, your sisters, they're going to love you. Because us losing Sebastian, it's literally crippled my older son. And it affected my grandkids that are up in Iowa with my oldest daughter. Because Sebastian used to do video chats in the mornings. And then Sebastian's godparents, it affects so many people, you just wouldn't believe it. It's not just us as parents that hurt, but it's the siblings, it's, family and friends.
Right here, why would you tell him?
I love you and I'm sorry. I wish I would have been the dad that you deserved. Every time I go to church, I take him with me. I have his ashes in here. But I would rather have him physically here. This pain, I don't think it'll ever go away. But I miss my son.
Memories of these places, concealed until the walls come down, releasing every moment in between. A memory of these faces, fading as the years go by, reflected in the window pane, fading days that change.